Hello everyone, here we meet again with Aliaksandr Haretski, the founder of European Academy of Folk Medicine. Today we're going to talk about the ways to handle various pains and aches. Welcome.
Hello.
Could you explain the following? If a sore throat comes along, where should we look for the cause? The throat itself? Or is completely something else?
There can be many different reasons for throat problems. It could be thyroid gland issues, infection, and situation when you eat too much pepper, or mustard, which can also irritate your throat. There is a variety of situations. For example, my secretary went on a sick leave because of severe sore throat. My intuition told me that the pain had nothing to do with the throat, so I asked her to come to my office for some chiropractic adjustments on cervical vertebrae. At first she couldn't understand what it has to do with the sore throat. She wouldn't believe until one quick adjustment which relieved the pain within a minute. What seemed like a typical inflammation of the tonsils disappeared within a minute. In other words, it's sometimes really hard to tell where the problem lies. The most important thing is to find the cause. There are many things which conventional medicine can't explain. In this case, however, it's quite logical. When you are asleep, your cervical vertebrae can move and shift. Their structure makes it possible. This is not a big problem. Tough. See the red vein? It is a part of our nervous system. Shifting vertebrae can squeeze the vein and block its blood flow to the brain. The nerves that come out of the spinal cord get squeezed as well. Yes, you see the nerves here, but as they are in fact connected to different organs in the body, they are responsible for the brain, sight, muscles, and are similar to the cables in electrical installation. No order can be sent if a single nerve is blocked and there is no information flow. No order can be sent if a single nerve is blocked and there is no information flow. So, all you have to do is to fix it, and it just takes 1 minute time. There are people who suffer from such problem for years, and are not aware that all they need is a quick cervical vertebrae adjustment. And they should be fine. As simple as that.
And what are the most common problems in the lower part of the spine?
The spine consists of 3 parts: upper, middle and lower. You should really pay attention and take care of the lower part. People who work physically and move heavy stuff such as building rubble often twist their body when lifting an object. If you look at this spine model, you will notice the lower part is rather stiff. So what happens when we twist our body is that the vertebrae shifts, the spinal cord gets squeezed. We start to feel pain and the ligaments of the lower spine get inflamed. What people do then? They take painkillers or injections, whereas what they should do is to relax the spine and move the vertebra back in place. Otherwise the pain will last for years. There is a lot of work with the spine and many health problems connected with it. We really have to be careful. Each patient of European Academy of Folk Medicine undergoes a series of chiropractic adjustments. Regardless health problems they come with, the spine needs to be obligatory treated. You must understand that the source of many of your problems is in fact in your back.
Okay, how about migraines and headaches?
It's the same problem in the neck and spine. I think it's one of the most common primary issues. If your blood flow in the upper part of your spine is blocked for a long time, then your blood circulation stops in your brain. And that means we encounter two problems at the same time. We have to improve blood flow and get rid of problems that are already there. We do have a method and solutions for that. When it comes to migraines, there could be many causes. One of them is inflammation, which is a big problem.
Now, the common cold.
As we say, nothing helps better for a cold than a hot bath. You need to heat up your body properly in sauna or hot bath on an early stage of a cold. This fires up the healing process. If you miss the moment and get severely sick, there are many methods in folk medicine that we can use. A cold can be treated by a very good herb called greater celandine. It's said to be poisonous and some people are afraid to use it. But I personally know a lot of people who use that herb on a regular basis and are very healthy. They don't experience any side effects. Of course, I wouldn't use too much of the herb since it has a very strong and fast effect. But if you have a cold, just drink it with tea for 1-2 days and you should be fine. There is one more herb which is very rare, still undiscovered in Poland. It's very good for the common cold but also different lung diseases. It's called Oman. Fewer people probably heard of it and it's a very strong herb. It's called Oman. Fewer people probably heard of it and it's a very strong herb. It was brought from Turkey long time ago when Turkey practically ruled and owned the whole Europe. At the time they used Oman to fight typhoid fever, the only cure that saved lives. Turkish soldiers took the tea for the war. The herb is so strong it boosts up the organism to such an extent that, when drank at night time, one can't fall asleep. You would be just too full of energy. Turkish army would to take it to war with to feel energized and strong on the battlefield. Nowadays people achieve this by taking drugs. Once people in the olden days took Oman. Most of the people in Poland don't know even what it is. What's interesting, Oman has no drug ingredients, only a reinforcing quality substances. It's the strongest and most natural body booster I have ever come across. Not only it's safe but also really strengthens the organism, enables self-healing and cures many respiratory diseases. The only side effect noticed is a strong cough which may last for 1-2 months. In case of advanced lung disease. In the situation like this, the advice is to continue drinking Oman tea patiently, which will cure the problems you have had for 10, 20 or even 30 years. This is a very good herb I would recommend to people with many health problems.
What about fever? There is a cold and high temperature. Is hot bath such a good idea? Should we use hot bath in situation like this?
Well, some people advise that both cold and hot water helps. We sometimes don't understand the way our body works. Example, do you think that you are getting warm sitting in sauna or having a hot shower? The answer is no, it's actually quite the opposite.
Our body starts cooling.
Yes, it cools down from inside. When you heat yourself up, the body's reaction is to cool itself down. You cool your body down, it starts warming up from inside up to 40 degrees Celsius. In my opinion, people shouldn't reach for medication when they're cold. The best thing to do is to plunge in a cold water, take a cold shower, maximum 10 degrees Celsius. Or pour a bucket of cold water all over yourself. It can save your life and solve any kind of a cold problem. I once had a 9-month-old patient suffering from pneumonia and 40 degrees Celsius fever. They came from Belarus with huge lung problems. One cure: cold water. I applied a cold water treatment on this 9-month little baby with 40 degrees Celsius fever. I remind again, he was diagnosed of pneumonia and huge inflammation. I cured him within half an hour.
So you literally put the baby into cold water, right?
Not exactly. The mother was holding the baby while I was pouring the bucket of very cold water on both of them. The baby held his breath for a second and soon after his organism activated its immune system. It seems that the body system does not recognize the problem very often, so can't fight a disease. Applying cold water brings to mind restart of a computer. Your body restarts and spots the problem. It turns on and off just like off and on button. It's visible when you hold your breath.
It's a kind of a trigger.
Yes, it launches again. As I said, it takes half an hour and you can get rid of every infection.
Tonsils infection too?
Yes, of course. Sometimes I use ice. I apply ice on the whole body to heal the tonsils infection.
Runny nose.
It acts even faster. It's interesting thing about the dripping nose. I used to cure it with eye drops that I make for practically all eye disorders. They regenerate eyes and improve eyesight. You can heal almost all eye problems with this, by the way. Having published all my studies on the effect of these drops, Tuff went online and published a book. I hoped it noticed a huge lack of interest in the subject among the people. Unfortunately, most of the people prefers wearing glasses. That's all. There's no people who want to recover from their problems, obviously, but that's one's choice. Anyway, these eye drops are universal enough to cure runny nose within a day. And they are good for ear problems as well. To see the eye drop recipe, simply visit our website www.folkmedicine.eu. And you will find my free audiobook where I share the instructions on how to make the drops. I also show how to prepare the drops concentrate. We used to use them only in summer, as this was the only moment we could use fresh herbs. I then came up with an idea of concentrated liquid which can be used and stored for many years and used for many problems.
I have noticed you have a beehive here in your office. What do you use the bees for?
This is apitherapy method we use. We apply bees on the body of the patient. The sting of a bee stimulates the immune and reproductive systems. Bees also act on the nervous system and stimulate organism to fight. The body can cope with this type of a damage. And the bee sting additionally induces it to see the issues in the whole body. That's how it works. Besides, it is interesting to see the beehive in the office. It's very convenient. I don't have to go anywhere far to find them. Another good thing about apitherapy is that we can steal some fresh honey from time to time. So it's a typical beehive but installed inside the building, in my office. That's the only difference.
What is cancer and how can we cure it?
This is just a general name for various types of abnormalities located in different parts of the body. And it's thousands of them. So it's hard to give just one simple recipe for universal cure. All I can say is that our method helps to treat many different types of cancer. The problem is the method is quite difficult, expensive. Not everyone can afford it. People usually want to treat themselves on their own or for free. I'm not going to talk about all types of a cancer which can be cured by self-healing, but I can give you a piece of advice that can save one's life, and it's completely for free. I can give you a piece of advice that can save one's life, and it's completely for free. I don't make a big secret of it or a big deal. I always tell my patients that there are many ways to cure cancer. You can do it quick or you can choose a method that will take longer to work. There are expensive methods and methods for free. There are methods we use and methods you can use at home. There is no effort in this. I'm truly amazed with one particular method used by Professor Shevchenko for cancer treatment. The method's called Method of Shevchenko. And it's based on just 2 ingredients which people used to use in huge doses and are still alive. It is oil and vodka. When I mention it to people suffering from cancer, they usually laugh and think it's a joke. I met people with a final stage of the lung cancer, for example. And I myself had a patient, an old man in his 80s. Whose 2/3 of his lungs were already affected by cancer cells. He had maximum 1 month left to live. After 2 months of treatment with Shevchenko's method, he literally spit his cancer out. I was shocked. All naturally. He was checked for 2 months and the tests showed not a single cancer cell in his lungs. Not a single one.
So oil and vodka, 50-50?
You can find a recipe online. I think it's 30 grams mixed with 40 grams. You blend it well and when you mix the ingredients you get a different consistency liquid, which literally burns out the lung cancer, but not only, all types of cancer actually, it has been proven. But the most important thing is your faith. You have to also believe the method will work. It often happens that people with cancer are afraid they won't have enough time to try all available methods. So they use all of them at same time, one method here, one method there, and again a different one. Soon they become guinea pigs trying out all the methods available. But they're not aware each single treatment has certain do's and don'ts. People are impatient and don't wait for final results of a treatment. They quickly switch to a different methods. When you try everything at once it makes no sense. If a man undergoes a stomach surgery, can't just interrupt in the middle of the operation saying, it's obvious he needs to finish what he started, yes. People, however, experiment on their bodies using everything what is available with a poor result. This is no different than walking with an open stomach. People don't understand that it's obvious. Using 5 methods at the same time won't give a good result. That's why one can't say that particular method doesn't work when you turn yourself into a guinea pig. Nothing more. You need to stick to one method and focus on this particular treatment. You need to devote to someone particular and involve your faith. You need to put your trust in one guide, or one teacher, one doctor. If you consult 10 different doctors at the same time, nothing will seem to work. Today you come to me for piece of advice. Tomorrow you go to a different doctor. The next day another healer, then a fortune teller. Come on, it makes no sense. Faith is the most crucial element of your healing. If you don't believe, it has no sense.
The topics such as veins, arteries, the circulatory system, cholesterol, etc. What would you tell all about these things?
Well, When it comes to veins and cholesterol, there are many different opinions. Yes, lies, but generally different views. First of all, as we know, cholesterol was divided into good and bad. But we have to remember that both bad and good cholesterol rebuilds the cells.
So we can speak only of a good cholesterol, right?
Yes, there's no bad one. This is a first lie which you hear about good and bad cholesterol. Still, you seem to need a certain amount of the good fat and a certain amount of the bad fat. How come they give the scale for bad fat when if it's bad, in that case, shouldn't be there at all? How come they give laboratory standards for bad cholesterol? It's a deception, yes or no? There is only one good cholesterol which should be in the system. But the problem is it doesn't get absorbed the way it should. Every time there is something wrong in your body, the regeneration process stops. Both the nervous and immune system don't work the way they should, so regeneration process is not efficient. When this happens, the cholesterol becomes harmful. Why? Because it doesn't get absorbed. The problem is not in cholesterol itself, but the problem with its absorption. The problem is not in cholesterol itself, but the problem with its absorption. There's no regeneration, so there's no need to absorb the cholesterol. That's the problem. Why? You can check what you want, but the main cause for this is not working liver. I can give you one good advice on how to quickly activate your liver.
How do we do that?
Drink oil.
What kind of oil?
Anything that is available, such as olive oil. Sunflower stimulates the liver very well. And milk thistle oil. Drink 100 to 200 grains of oil and then place a thermoform. Hot water bottle or electric blanket on your liver side. A thermoform gives only a heat, whilst an electric one is better. It works like a magnet. An electric device which produces magnetic field.
It has the frequency of 50 Hz. Is it safe?
The frequency of 50 Hz corresponds with the frequency of human cells, creating a different kind of frequency. So the warmth and electric field doubles the effect of therapy. Gives a better effect. Moreover, it charges up the organism. The magnetic field achieved has no frequency of 50 Hz and has a totally different impact.
Should we mix the oil with lemon juice, or is it not necessary?
No, it's not necessary. You know, there is a way to check if your liver is in the end stage of a disease. When it's not working at all, you should check your tongue. The tongue gets black like a vinyl. In such case, most doctors would give up. Absolutely. Drink oil and you can save your life. Nothing else will help you. As I exactly say, oil will save you. The way it regenerates the liver is just amazing. Okay, let's come back to veins again. What if someone suffers from vein or artery obstruction? What can we do in that case? How do we dissolve this? Such problem usually occurs if your cholesterol level is too high. Such problem usually occurs if your cholesterol level is too high. And if there's too many platelets in the blood. The blood thickens and blocks the veins as a result. There is no blood circulation. The conventional medicine in such case offers you a great deal of different drugs which thin the blood. There is intravenous therapy simply called a drip which increase fluids. And there is also a very good natural method. Guess what it is?
Vodka?
No. It's water. Just drink water and it will thin your blood. Seriously, this method is really simple. Still people prefer to take such a huge amount of the toxic pills to thin the blood when all they have to do is to drink more water. No one talks about this. Unlike different drugs and pills, water is free.
Here comes the questions of water. Does it really matter what kind of water we drink?
Of course, the quality of water is very important. Polluted water can be very harmful, as you know. We have so many different commercials advertising various kinds of water with different mineral components. But in my opinion, as long as the water is not contaminated, it doesn't really matter what ingredients it has. It's the healing spring water that counts the most. Namely, people seem to forget the fact they're happy when they're healthy. When they become sick, they usually go to spring resorts for 20 days to drink a lot of healing spring water, and they come back healthy. It gives them some extra few years of living in good health. Why not drinking this kind of water on a regular basis in the first place? Nowadays one can find so many types of water in the shop. Why not? I can't understand this. We normally use simple tap water in everyday life. Why not trying mineral water? It's got all the ingredients you need. Drink it and you'll be healthy.
What about plastic bottles?
Well, I can't say they are very good because plastic products release toxic substance when stored for a long time. That's why I think a lot bad substances can get absorbed. We should pay attention to labels and validity term of the product. Replacing plastic bottles with glass can be really difficult today as manufacturing process is rather slow. There's one more condition of those who are afraid of being poisoned. Those of you who are afraid to get poisoned will get poisoned for sure. This is how this mechanism works.
Does that mean that being afraid of the poison gets them poisoned even more? What does it mean?
For instance, if I strongly believe that eating that piece of meat with all its ingredients and preservatives is dangerous because I think it's contaminated, then when I eat it, my body will also think it's harmful. It will then be harmful for me. The mind has a huge impact on the organism. There's a function that says, "You provided me with toxic substances, go on, try to live now." You do understand that, right? This is a simple function, a program that works in your body. If you keep your mind open, do not stress about the details too much, your body will identify and distinguish the poison from nutrient. Let's take a diarrhea for example. People think it's a problem, and what do you think it actually is?
It's cleansing of the body.
That's right, it's body cleansing. When your digestive system receives something bad, it will get rid of it. This is a normal process. If it doesn't manage to remove it, the toxins occur. This is the way your body works. If we keep thinking about all poisons around, sooner or later we will get poisoned. However, if we are convinced we're safe to use and eat everything, the body will cope with it. This way we give so-called order so the body can manage itself. It will manage itself. It will choose whatever it needs. As I said, there's diarrhea and vomiting which people are afraid and consider something bad, but it's not true. It's not a disease but a normal process. The same things happens when it comes to runny nose. I think runny nose has a similar cleansing function. I think it's good to have it from time to time. Few years ago I had catarrhal inflammation myself. And as they say, it will disappear within a week when left alone or within 7 days, if treated, and so it has always been in my case. This time it wouldn't let go for a month. A miracle. Now I use my eye drops, it's gone within a day, not a month. I've recently watched TV and saw a commercial of some special nasal pills, not even nasal drops. Nasal pills. What are these nasal pills? I think it works as an antidote. Someone creates a disease and produces antidotes for a problem, the pills which treat nasal infections. You buy these pills and you get rid of the problem the next day. I was shocked. Take a closer look to a number of flu infections created. Swine flu, bird flu, African flu recently discovered, and so on. They will keep creating these to produce more medication sales, more sales. It's never enough and they all want money every day. Pharmaceutical factories are slowing down. Who needs injections for a flu that doesn't exist? So you should be really careful. Remember, if you're afraid of flu, most probably you will catch it. But if you are not afraid, your organism will fight off the disease. There are all different mutations of viruses, but the interesting thing is that there are even more antibodies in the human immune system corresponding to those plus the mutations our medicine hasn't discovered yet. This means our body can cope with everything that is not even well identified yet. If you're afraid, you're easy to get sick. Remember, I heard of several Russian scientists presenting a very interesting dissertation on the specific type of fungus. That always activates in people all over the world during fall and spring. The people get sick. It turned out that this fungal infection had nothing to do with their condition. It simply doesn't exist. It's the mind. Each person thought of disease flying around, and so was more prone to catch infection during certain time of the year and eventually got sick. It's the program of materializing your wishes and thoughts. This is how it works. You literally dream of getting ill. You expect, are afraid of it, but wait for it at the same time. It's scientifically proven that there is no infection during spring and fall, but millions of people get sick anyway. It's the media that shows you there's some epidemic. There's no epidemic. It's all in here. Each human has an antidote and a virus in their system every day, still are afraid of many things. I say eat normal. I tell all my patients not to think about diseases and not to worry. And they don't get sick. It's all in your head.
It means that the most important organ in our body is the mind? Not even the brain but your mind, right?
There's a lot of ways to describe it, but I'd say it's the subconscious. This is the best word to describe it. Your thoughts can be controlled by your mind during the daytime. But the thought process that starts at night when you're asleep is your subconscious. This is when it works. You understand that, right? We may think about various things during a day, but things that your subconscious mind thinks of at night are the ones that count. This is the most important because it works. We are preoccupied with many stuff during the day, plus the body regeneration process is slowed down to minimum. This is the reason why we sleep. It's the process of regeneration and body recovery. So the most important thing is how we control that process while asleep. I therefore developed a self-programming method, an autosuggestion which must be written or read on a regular basis in the moment you're half asleep. You then push the information by force when your mind is alpha state, a state of being fully awake and totally asleep. Your subconscious digests the commands from autosuggestion when you are asleep. Many people think of various problems before they fall asleep. They think they have cancer, have a tumor, and won't be able to get up in the morning. This is how they program to get sick. I give my patients an autosuggestion which says that they will in fact be able to get up in the morning. That's the difference. When a proper command, what to fix, what to heal, is being sent to the subconscious mind, it works better. The effects are so much visible. That's why each person should think positive every night they go to sleep. Each negative thought makes it more difficult to get up in the morning.
I think that's all for now, so thank you so much for that interview.